Welcome back to Moments with Pa. Okay, let's continue on with communications. This is part three. And in part three, let me repeat our scripture basically on communications, James 1:19. Understand this, my brothers and sisters, you must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. So, what I want to talk about in this session is being slow to speak. Uh, I got some quotes that I kind of enjoy, and so I want to share these three. I think three of them. Yeah, I got three quotes I want to share with you. Before you speak, make sure it's an improvement over the silence. Now that's kind of hard to do sometimes, but I've tried to practice that. And so sometimes I'm so silent, somebody will say, "Bob, aren't you going to say something?" I said, "Well, I've been thinking about it, and I just can't think of anything that's worth saying." Quote number two. Blessed are they who have nothing to say and cannot be persuaded to say it. Okay, and then quote number three, and then I'll move on. There are two kinds of people who don't say much: those who are quiet and those who talk a lot. So we all know that, and those are quotes, but kind of funny quotes, but they're all very true. Let me tell you some other quotes from Proverbs. Proverbs 29:20. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. Proverbs 18:21. The tongue can bring death or life. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. Ephesians 4:29. Don't use foul or abusive language, but let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. So, when we communicate, when we talk, let's make sure our language is good and helpful and will help that person who's listening to it. Another thing I want to talk about, let's talk ways to change our speech is to use I statements. You know, maybe you've heard of this before, but I want to bring it back to mind again. If you have, or if you haven't heard it, maybe it'll be a good revelation for you. I statements and you statements. You statement is this: you never come home on time. That's a you statement. The I statement is: I am really feeling out of your life because you take long hours at work. I miss you. That's the I version. The you version of another statement: you make too much noise. The I version: I feel upset when all this noise going on because it interrupts my concentration. So it is I. It's not that you make too much noise. It bothers me. It's an I statement. I get concerned with so much noise that I can't concentrate. This is the way it is. That's a you statement there. This is the way it is. And an I statement is, this is how I see it. Pointing to yourself. Start with I. This is an I. One more. I'm right and you're wrong. Some people say, oh, that's just being straightforward. How about saying, I see it differently? My view of it is differently. So don't point the finger at the other person. Say what's going on in your mind. So that's kind of the statement. Going back to James says, be quick to listen. Now it says, let me also cover the next statement is be slow to anger. So when I share something deep in me, I'm sharing part of me. So you got to make sure that don't get angry. I'm just sharing something that's deep in me. So don't get angry about it. Communication basically boils down to taking something out of your soul and giving it to someone else. To me, good communications is, in a godly world is soul to soul. heart to heart. I've often thought about this, which is easier for you to do? Watch TV for an hour or talk to your wife for an hour? Oh, well, never thought about it that way. When you really are communicating and you're really having this one-on-one, soul to soul, it's a great, great experience. So, spend time. So, your feelings. When someone shares their feelings with you, somebody says, "Well, I feel that." Well, you shouldn't feel that way. You ever heard that statement? You shouldn't feel that way? That's a stupid statement. Because feelings are. There's no bad things. Feelings just are. So you can't say you shouldn't feel that way, because feelings just are. They're there. And so you need to acknowledge them. Facts. How many of you would rather deal with the facts rather than with feelings? And all the thinkers raise their hand. I'd a lot rather deal with facts than feelings. But feelings is a great part of communications. So if you deal only with feelings, if you only deal with facts, this is like the world's trying to do. You could be a computer, because that's what a computer does. AI, all this AI stuff going on now, program it in a computer and it's done. It knows the facts. And so you just kind of remove feelings. Feelings is what makes us a human being and not a computer. So feelings are important. So it's more important sometimes to listen to some other people's feelings and what's going on inside of us sometimes interprets or confuses the whole communication. So we need to gird our minds and our emotions and control our responses. It says be slow to anger. Don't get mad. Let feelings reign and just love one another and be close to one another. So be slow to anger. James 1:19 says, understand this, brothers and sisters, be quick to listen, be slow to speak, and be slow to anger or respond. So I got one more session. I'd like kind of the art of communications. So I'd like to share one more with you, and then we'll go on to another subject. So God bless you. Thank you for watching. May God the Father and Jesus the Son give you grace, mercy, and peace. Have a good one. See you next time.